As a voiceover talent, it is crucial for you to know when to take a breath when you are reading your script. Losing your breath before getting to the end of a sentence just won't do. Proper breathing is the foundation of a strong, clear voice. And yes, it is essential for delivering professional sounding voiceover performance. So, your question might be, are there any easy, simple breathing techniques for new voiceover talents out there? Well, yes, and that's what we're going to talk about today on Speak Easy. So, if you're ready, let's get started. Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to Speak Easy. It's so good to see you. This is the place where you and I can just chit chat about your voiceover career. And if this is the first time we are meeting, it's so good to meet you. My name is Anna. I have been doing this for a while now. And what I want to do is just really share some tips and tricks that I've learned in the industry, especially to those who are just starting out as voiceover talents or home based talents, or those who have been doing this for a while but could use some refresher or some tips and tricks that will help their career get off the ground. And I'm here for you. I will try to answer all the questions that you leave for me on the comment section. Like for today, actually, the topic for today is inspired by a question that was sent to me by Saeed. But before we get into that, if this is something that you think you would like, or if you would want to watch more videos like this one for your voiceover career, why don't you go ahead and subscribe to the channel? And while you're at it, while you're down there, go ahead and hit that notification bell so that you just know if I have new videos out. So let's get on with the topic for today, and it is how to avoid losing your breath while reading your script as a voiceover. So again, I told you that this was inspired by a question that was sent down at the comment section. Okay, so it's coming from Saeed Yusuf Bukhari 2213, and he says, "Hi Anna, love your content. Would love to ask, and it is a pretty important one that you haven't yet covered, the breathing techniques for script reading. Like, my breath is sometimes way too short. Why?" I can tell you why, Saeed. Thank you so much for that excellent question, by the way. And before I get on with some tips, let me just give a disclaimer to all of you out there. So, this is just a simple tip or a simple technique that you can use, but as you move on your journey as a voiceover talent, you will find other tricks or hacks that will work for you, because we're all different. So you will get there, you will get to those things that you need to do to expand your breathing capacity, or to make sure that you actually don't sound like you're losing your breath while you're reading your script. But this is foundational. This is all about breathing. So I just wanted to let you know that, okay? All right, so let's get on with it. So let me start first with something very important, and it is understanding how you can work with your breath to give excellent outputs, okay? So with that said, let's just talk about the basics of breathing for voiceover talents. So what you have to know is breathing properly supports your vocal endurance and also the clarity of your voice. Diaphragmatic breathing, or breathing from your belly, in my opinion, is the most effective way to ensure that your lungs are filled with enough air to get you through the whole sentence. And this is opposed to chest breathing, where you're just taking a breath from your chest, from up here, because that is shallow. So you don't get a lot of air in your lungs from chest breathing. So let's talk about the benefits of breathing from your belly. So when you breathe from your belly, more oxygen reaches your lungs, and that supports sustained speech without running out of breath. And I think that is what's happening to you, Saeed. You're not breathing from your belly. So, what you might be doing is you might be breathing from your chest, and that doesn't give you a stable airflow. So, that makes it harder for you to maintain a steady voice, tone, and even your volume is affected. Now, the question you might have is, how can I tell if I'm breathing from my chest or my belly? It's very, very simple. So do this exercise. Put your hand on your chest, one hand on your chest, and one hand, oops, sorry about that, and one hand on your belly. Now breathe deep. Which one is rising? Is your belly rising like how mine is? You can't see it. I'm sorry. How do I show you? But anyway, just put your hand on your belly right now and on your chest. So one hand each. So which one is rising and falling when you breathe deep? Because my belly rises because I'm doing the belly breathing or the diaphragmatic breathing technique. Now, if you're breathing from your chest, like I am, that's harder for me now because I'm not used to it anymore, but it's shallow. You can only take so much air. See, so that is how you can tell where you're drawing breath from. Is it your belly or your chest? Of course, we want you to be breathing from your belly. So, how do you do that? But before we get to our breathing exercise, if you find that this video is helping you out, please do like it or give me a thumbs up right now. All right, let's get to our breathing exercise. So, let's get to our diaphragmatic breathing exercise or breathing from your belly. So, what we're doing is we're practicing it as often as we can until it becomes natural for us to breathe from our belly and not from our chest. So the many times you do it, as many times as you do it, the more inclined you are to remember to start breathing from your belly as opposed to your chest. So what you can do is you can lie down on your back. I don't really mind if you do it on your bed or on a yoga mat, but you want to lie on your back. Okay, so now put your hand on your belly. Okay, so you want to get a deep inhale from your nose or through your nose and make sure that your belly or your abdomen is the one that rises up. Fill it up all the way up to the maximum until you cannot breathe in anymore. So deep breaths through the nose, and you will feel your abdomen rise up, and then slowly breathe out through your mouth. Okay, so do that a couple of times every day, and it should be practice for you to also be aware of how you're breathing. Okay, when you're in front of the mic, when you're talking to someone or whatever, just make sure that you're breathing from your abdomen. So do that a couple of times, maybe 5 times, and then repeat until you're aware of where you're breathing from. Now, you might be asking me, really, Anna, I have to do all of these things? Is it worthwhile practicing this breath technique? Yes, I think so. Apart from getting enough air to go through a sentence, this will actually help you with your vocal health. It will protect your vocals, and it will also reduce tension on your end, and it will help you read your scripts better. So I think it is worth mastering this breathing technique. Now, let me also share with you some downside to chest breathing apart from being breathless quicker. If your breaths are short or shallow, it does create tension on your neck and on your shoulder as well. And when that happens, it creates a constriction on your vocal cords as well. And that is not good for your voice. So if I were you, I would avoid drawing breath just from your chest. So now that you know this breathing technique, how do you actually apply it when you're reading a script? But before we go there, let me just share on how you can support me and this channel. Number one, really, it's easy. Just subscribe to Speak Easy and also share it with your friends and like the videos that you've watched. Number two, please don't skip any of the ads that appear on every video that you see. And number three, easy and simple, just give me or send me a super thanks. That would be the heart icon with a $sign in it. Click that and send love my way. However, which way you want to support me, I really, really am grateful for all of you. So now that you know the breathing technique of breathing from your belly or diaphragmatic breathing, it is also important that you mark your script when you plan to take a breath. Okay, because even though you know this technique already, it's also good to make every breath count. You don't have to strain yourself all the way, all the time. So let me just use as an example an old script that I have already worked on, and let me show you how I actually mark it when I'm going to draw breath. So, for example, the horn effect. The horn effect is when we think about a certain demographic negatively. For example, you may have heard someone say, I don't want to hire neurodiverse or an autistic candidate. So, with this one, I will mark the horn effect is when we think about a certain demographic negatively. So that's a period. I can take a breath there. So I will mark it with 2 slashes. Let me see if I can show that to you. There, 2 slashes. Okay. And then if it's just like a comma, so for example, you may have heard someone say, I can breathe there. That's not a complete stop. That's a comma, which means I'm going to keep on talking without making a full stop. So I will put a slash after someone say comma. So I know to take a quick breath, okay, from my belly and then move on. Okay, so this is how it will sound like. The horn effect is when we think about a certain demographic negatively. Breath. For example, you may have heard someone say, breath, I don't want to hire a neurodiverse or an autistic candidate. So hopefully that helps you to visualize how it is to mark your script. Okay. So if it's a long sentence and you think that you can make it, 2 slashes or a full stop will happen where there's a period. Now, if it's a long sentence, find somewhere in there in between that you know you can make it without losing your breath and draw a slash in it to take a quick breath from your belly. Okay. So it has to sound natural. Make sure that you repeat it over and over again and you hear if it's sounding natural to take a breath there or a quick pause so that you can actually mark it on your script. That's why it's always my advice to get your script ahead of time. If you can ask for your client to get it ahead of time and practice it over and over again so that you can go through it and see where you're struggling to keep your breath and where you can adjust to take a quick breath. So that you can do that, you can help remind yourself by marking it on your script. So again, remember, proper breathing is essential to a clear and quality voiceover performance. So Saeed, my advice to you, my friend, is try incorporating this breathing technique and this breathing exercise into your daily routine. And you know what? I'll be really surprised if you don't see a difference in a short while. So again, Saeed, do not breathe from your chest, breathe from your belly so that you can fill your lungs with more air and you can go through your script without losing your breath. And again, my voiceover friends, if you have any more techniques to share with Saeed and any other voiceover talents out there who might be struggling with the same problem as Saeed, go ahead and share it with us down at the comment section. We are, after all, a community, and it's good that we're helping each other out. Now, to those of you who have other questions about voiceovers, I invite you to also leave them for me down at the comment section. I will look through them and try to make a video to answer those questions. And that's all I have for breathing techniques for those of you who are just starting out your voiceover journey. And to those of you who may have forgotten that you should be breathing from your belly and not your chest. But don't go yet. If you like this video, please do consider going through the channel and watching more videos that will help you with your voiceover career. And with that, I'll wish you all a fantastic day and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers!